I only identify myself as indigenous, and that's it. I do have other traces of other people. 82% Native American, 11% West African, specifically Nigerian, 7% Asian, specifically Mongolian. That's exactly what I am, right?
No European at all.
No,
No.
no, no European, no. So here's the
Like
thing, huh? What you say?
you.
Here's the thing, though. You see, the reason why it's important for me to also share my DNA is because there's a misconception that to be Mexican, you have to be a mixture of indigenous and Spanish. That's what makes you a Mexican. But if that's the case, then I guess I'm not Mexican. But then when you see me, what do you see? You get what I'm saying? So I like to challenge people with these facts. That's why to me my DNA results are very important because I'm also trying to attack the misconception that, oh, to be Mexican, it's a mixture of Spanish and indigenous. Slow down. Slow down. You're missing other people from other parts of the world. You forgot the African, you forgot the Asian. It's not just a European and native thing. There's more people in this world. Why are you so determined to only identify as two people? Why? If we've been coexisting with the Europeans just as long as we have with the African, why are we only mixed with the European but not with the African? You're the example, right? You and I are the example. So if you and I look like the typical Mexican, when you go to Mexico, you see us, right? Yet you have a very high percentage of African, right? So then where does this obsession come where everybody wants to make it seem like to be Mexican, you're just Spanish and just Indio? Why only these two? Is that an agenda that they're trying to push, trying to make it seem like we don't have a mixture of African or Asian? Hey, they're trying to teach us that to be Mexican, you're a mixture of European, specifically Spanish, and Native. But what about the Africans? What about the Asian part? Why don't we add these? Why is it like an agenda to try to forcefully apply European on us? If I say I'm indigenous, it's like, oh, well, you must have some European in you. Why did you feel the need to say that? Why didn't you say, well, you must have some African in you? Why is a European so important to people to point out to indigenous people of Mexico, Central and South America? That's what I'm trying to get at. Like whenever anybody, one of us in Mexico, Central and South America identifies indigenous, it doesn't fail that people's like, well, you must have some kind of European, like Spanish. What about African? No? There's this effort to try to pin European on us. Like we all must have it. We all must have it. And the question is, why must we all have it? Oh, because Europeans, it's common that they've been in Mexico for so long. Okay, Africans too. Africans have been in Mexico and Central and South America just as long. When the Europeans came, they brought African slaves over here. We've been coexisting with Africans and Europeans just the equal amount of time. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, completely. Because I feel like people are just not educated, and they think because you speak Spanish, oh, you must have some
Mm-hmm.
Spanish.
Mm-hmm.
No way. Mexico was conquered how many years ago? Like, eventually you're gonna mix and have some type of Spanish, but it's like, no, not everybody from Latin American countries have or any mixture of anything else, and so
Absolutely.
I feel like it's a bias because even like the actress Lupita Nyong'o,
Mm-hmm.
she was born in Mexico. Is she Mexican? No, she's black. Everybody looks at her and sees a black woman, but you don't see Mexicans saying, oh, she's Mexican.
They don't defend her as a Mexican.
No. But Canelo is
Mm-hmm.
Mexican,
There you go.
even though I see Canelo as a white man,
Caucasian. He's a Caucasian. Yeah.
but it's biased because, oh, no, he's Mexican, he's mixed or whatever. No, I mean, I primarily see a white person. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I've never seen Canelo and thought, oh, he's Mexican. When I found out he was Mexican, I was like, no way. Like, he's not Mexican,
Well,
you know?
technically he is, but that's also the important part here is that if Canelo, a fully white man, can be Mexican, why can't Lupita Nyong'o be just equally as a Mexican?
Right.
If what it takes to be Mexican is to be born there, then why are we being biased and saying that only the white people of Mexico are just Mexican? If I say Canelo's not Mexican, he's white. Ah, no, 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 es mexicano, él nació allí. Puro orgullo mexicano. Okay, what about Lupita Nyong'o? Ah, yes, es negra. Ah, you see? So, this goes back to me coming around in full circle of there is an agenda to try to pin the European on us. But when it comes to African, you ask any indigenous person of Mexico, ¿you're indigenous? Ah, sí, 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 pero también soy español. Ah, ¿puede ser que eres también africano? Oh, no, 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 no. You see, that's my point. That's what I'm getting at. Is that there's a hatred towards the African, towards the African DNA. We are determined to convince people as well as ourselves that we do not have African in us. But even if we don't have it like me, someone like me who doesn't have European, oh yeah, we'll try to yes, yo también soy español también. But I'm not though. My DNA test says 0% any of those people. But yet, a lot of people that look just like me are determined to say that we all have some kind of European. I made a video on YouTube about Lupita Nyong'o. And when I shared it, there are some Mexicans in the comment section just to strengthen this point, saying things along the lines of, but Lupita Nyong'o has never fought for Mexico and has never done anything to represent Mexico. And this is what I thought. I said, neither have I. But nobody in this world will ever question my Mexicanality. No one in this world. You want to know why? Because I look Mexican. You see what I'm saying? But she is obviously African descent, born in Mexico. Well, there's white people that are your descent, born in Mexico, but nobody will ever question and challenge their Mexicanality, whatever, right? But when it's a black person, you're not really Mexican, though. You're African descent. See, there's something going on there. There's a bias. And I don't care how people see it, that is literally a form of racism because you're excluding and trying to take away someone's true nationality just because of where they descend. Because if it's a Chino born in Mexico, it's okay, they're Mexican. If it's any kind of European born in Mexico, they're just Mexican. In your example, the Canelo, that's a perfect example. We have white folks in Mexico all day claiming Mexican. No one will ever question their Mexicanality. No one in the world. But then we have a Lupita Nyong'o in Mexico that's Mexican. She was born there. Now her nationality will come in question. Now she has to prove that she's Mexican. What have you done for the country? You see what I'm saying? There's a phrase that the Mexican says, in Mexico there is no race, we're all just Mexican. That's obviously a load of crap, because in Lupita Nyong'o is the example. We'll use Canelo and we'll use Lupita Nyong'o. So we have Lupita Nyong'o who is Mexican, equally like Canelo. Canelo European descent, Lupita Kenyan descent. And they're both born in Mexico, so they're both rightfully Mexican. But yet, when it comes to Lupita, she has to prove that she's Mexican. She has had to done something, fought for Mexico, done something for Mexico to prove that she's Mexican. But Canelo, he's just Mexican. There's no question. You don't have to prove it. People may even say he looks Mexican. And they'll even say something like, oh, there's all shades and colors in Mexico. Sure. But then why is it that when somebody's the shade of Lupita Nyong'o, that's a Mexican? Now it comes into question. There's plenty of people who identify themselves as Afro-Mexican in Mexico. You're aware, I'm sure. If they come out of their communities, whether it's, Costa Chica, anywhere in Guerrero, in Veracruz, if they come out of their communities and go to the city, any other state, they'll get stopped by authority and be questioned about their nationality. They'll assume that they're American. They'll assume that they're from somewhere else. There's no way you could be Mexican because you don't look Mexican. So then, whatever happened to in Mexico there's no race, we're all just Mexican? Whatever happened to that phrase? Who does it apply only to? One of my good friends who I've known for over a decade, they're Afro-Mexicans. And when they come out of their communities and go into a different state in Mexico, they're stopped and questioned about their nationality. You don't look Mexican. Prove that you're Mexican. Sing the national anthem. Yeah, they do that to people. They make them say the national anthem of Mexico if you're black in Mexico.